Hi, it's Julie MacDonald of the Drama Studio here in Edinburgh, and I'm going to be talking about our recent work using creative drama to motivate and inspire children's literacy. Now, we were asked to research this idea by an Edinburgh primary school head teacher in a school where we had been teaching creative drama for several years. The school was in an area of social deprivation, and many of the children there really struggled in their learning, in their confidence, and for some of them, they just struggled with simply getting along with each other. The idea of doing writing for some children was just too difficult to contemplate, and we were really concerned to find that children as young as 7 would just say to us that they couldn't read or write. Full stop. Excuse the pun. Although some said to us they had tried, there was just too many who seemed to have a short attention span, or it became interrupted and they got distracted and basically they just lost interest in their learning. In our drama lessons, however, we had a relatively high degree of attention from the students and immersion in the lessons, which by their very nature, it being drama, it filtered out many of the distractions that seemed to be going on to other class lessons. They were focused in drama. They were engaged and motivated by it. So, the head teacher thought, maybe this could be the hook. Drama was a leveller. Everyone could do it, and most of them loved it. But when we suggested it, most children were horrified to think that their beloved drama lessons would be sabotaged by a writing task. And it quickly became obvious to us that we'd need to find a middle road, some kind of a bridge between the drama lesson and the literacy task. And something that had always struck us about the children in the school, just going round the school and see what other things they were doing in their classwork, was how good they were at drawings and artwork, another arts area. Their drawings had so much detail in them, and they were so creative with them, and they seemed to be at odds with other aspects of their school work. So, here we felt was a way in, and we started getting them to draw just part of a scene from the drama lesson. Maybe their favourite scene, or maybe a what happens next kind of scene. And well, they had no problem with this. And then they were more than happy to discuss their own work. They were perfectly at ease with just coming up to the front of the class with their work, holding it up and just describing it, just like a little impromptu presentation, if you like. And this was really great news for us in so many ways. We felt we were off to a good start. The students were expressing themselves on paper and sharing their work with others, and it seemed to be giving them confidence. And by coming to the front of the class and just doing exactly that, talking about their own individual work, it seemed to be adding a value onto it. You know, they'd gone away and done something, and now they were showing it off. And people were talking about it, and they were discussing them. And this was very interesting for us, just how at ease they were with that. Gradually then, we introduced the idea that words could accompany their pictures and drawings. In the lower school, we asked that they added maybe single words or short phrases. And in the upper school, they quite often captioned their pictures or wrote descriptions of them underneath. So we were sliding in to the situation, some actual writing. And we kept this step easily achievable by most children. and supported by obviously the class teachers where necessary. So what we had here now was this very first format of delivering a drama lesson, an engaging and motivating drama lesson. We then moved that into drawing and writing as a task afterwards, and then sharing to an audience that could be a partner or the whole class or a small group, bringing the whole format full circle back into presentation, back into drama, in fact. And so we kind of put that little literacy element, we tucked it away right in the middle there of what was essentially drama on both sides of it. As the students' confidence grew in reading out their written work, the written pieces and the descriptions became longer and longer. And eventually they went straight to writing after the drama lesson. The writing took over from the artwork and the drawings, which then became illustrations to the writing, which was a great move. But we could see that particularly up the school, this started to happen more and more and more. And in the upper school, particularly middle school and upper school, we started experimenting with interesting places for them to read out their work. We started experimenting with dimming the lights and using pop-up tents and torches and putting on music, atmospheric music, for them to read out their work and have this background music going on at the same time. And they just absolutely loved this, that we were adding in more and more little elements of theatre. Again, with the slightly older groups, we started popping literacy tasks inside the drama scenes themselves. So during a scene, a letter might arrive, they'd all be in groups, and a letter might arrive that we'd prepared, and we just gave them out, we just went into role as the postie going round with their letters, and they'd have to read these, and the letter would need to be answered. They would have to answer this letter and get their own paper and pens and deal with it as a group within their drama. Maybe the drama required them to write a list for some reason, or take notes, in a police station, taking notes. So we started just dropping in the literacy tasks right inside the drama itself. And now we were writing for purpose. Very often this type of writing required collaboration between them, maybe with a partner there or inside the group. They had to work together on the writing task, and they really, really enjoyed this. And I think that, the mutual support of the task, working with a friend, for example, on a writing task, it was highly motivating for them. And they helped each other, that seemed to encourage them more and more as well. In actual fact, it encouraged them to cast quite a critical eye over the writing task itself. They were starting to take a look at that writing in more detail, thinking about it and thinking about the presentation of it and the content of it. In the older classes, primary 6 and 7 particularly, they started to see the value in writing things down. There was a purpose for doing it, in order maybe to remember things. And they started coming up to us and asking, could we just go and write that down? Would that be okay if we just went and wrote that down? And it was a real yippee moment for us as teachers, because we thought, yes, they're wanting to write it down. They want to write. And it was just a great feeling in that moment. So we could clearly see that the link with drama certainly improved their motivation to write, and it created for them, content, something to write about, and a context that would determine what type of writing it was going to be. And sharing and presentation of their work also drew attention to the technical aspects of writing. They began to see a need for punctuation, the grammar, the spelling, And these things started to become so obvious to them that if they were going to have a smooth reading of something, that these things needed to be in place, and that was whether it was their own work or if they were reading somebody else's writing. The technical aspects had to be in there. There was a reason for these. And again, working together on written pieces really helped them. You know, they would go and sit with a partner and read over their work before they presented it to the rest of the class, and check each other's work, and just check for the spelling mistakes and so on. And this was so important, this collaboration, this mutual support, and moving them on and progressing them with their literacy. Our 3.5 years of research was halted in March 2020 when COVID struck. But just prior to that, we did what we called a cold write exercise with our upper school case study class. And we asked them to write about anything at all that they wanted to write about in any style that they wanted. It could be a letter, could be a script, could be a poem, whatever. But we told them the teachers would not help them. They couldn't ask for help. The only thing the teachers would do would be to become listeners. The students could read out their first draft, just by way of how that would sound, and the teachers could listen, but the teachers wouldn't be helping them. And they were responsible for the technical aspects. The teachers wouldn't be pointing out spelling mistakes or anything like that. They had to go for it themselves. The response to this challenge was astonishing and quite unpredicted by us. Every student that was there that day was highly motivated and had an idea. There was nobody saying, what am I going to write about? They all had something that they were going to write about, and the buzz inside the classroom was just one of great excitement as they quickly got themselves organised and started writing down their ideas. And they came to us saying, can we stay in at break to do this? Can we take our work home? Can we do a bit at home, bring it in? Everyone was just so focused. And in the end, we got lots of different pieces. We got scripts, we got poems, we got reports, we got diaries, we got creative, imaginative stories. And in some of them, we could recognise that disguised as their characters, they were highly autobiographical. The stories were about them. And it was really quite heart-rending and just wonderful all at the same time. It was so successful, and it was just much, much more than my colleague Louise and I and their class teacher Amy could have expected. It just blew us away. The teachers in the school where we were working refer to our work as drama literacy. And since those early days, we have been developing and piloting a video resource for primary school teachers to use directly in their classrooms, and we call it Over to You. And this resource is available to trial and to take part in. So if your students are struggling with literacy and you are open to a creative and interactive approach to achieve really quite significant results and improvements in literacy, then do follow the link where you can receive more details about it and where you can hear what other class teachers are saying about drama literacy. And we would be very happy to welcome you to our growing number of teachers who are giving it a go and seeing the benefits for themselves and becoming experienced themselves in using this very powerful teaching approach. So we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.